I would actually love to see a new 3D Donkey Kong game being given a shot. Kind of hope the new rumored DK game turns out to be just that, but only time will tell. I'm just excited to see whatever it is they do. I honestly, I don't want any more... Like, if they're not going to change the formula of what they currently do with Donkey Kong Country, I don't want another one of those. I really don't. I mean, I'll still be happy with it, sure. But I never cared for Returns, and Tropical Freeze is great as a video game, but it still just doesn't... It just doesn't do it for me in terms of Donkey Kong. Like, there's more reasons why I like Donkey Kong than just... Like, Donkey Kong himself isn't even one of my, like, I like Diddy Kong way more than Donkey Kong. Not having memorable enemies or bosses, it just takes it away. And, like, the art style, I can't get into. I don't want another one. I don't want another Tropical Freeze. As a platformer, it's great. But as a Donkey Kong game, it doesn't scratch that itch. It just doesn't. And for some people, they may not understand that, but for me, there's just... It's not that it has to be exactly like these games, it's just that it's too much... Like, it doesn't even feel like the same world. It blows my mind, though, that this game, this one and the second one, or this one and the first one, I mean, I like the third one, too. Yeah, the original 3. It is crazy to me that I can still play these games and still have as much fun as I do. Playing DK Land 2... But there's a level that's like this with the seal. It is not fun. You just can't see enough. I was going to make a video on the animal buddies. The lack thereof in the newer DKCs. I really hope that changes. I might still make that video, I don't know. But I can't believe all we've had is Rambi and 2 of them. I miss this Kong's design and art style, which we will probably never get back. For me, like, I'm okay with... Like, I don't really expect a Donkey Kong... what? A Donkey Kong game to look like this again. Like, I feel like this was its time. Like, you can't really, like recapture this. But I feel like... You know what? In my opinion, it should be like what Mario Party Jamboree is for me. Where it felt like they kept making new Mario Party games, and it just kept feeling like they're changing stuff. In my opinion, it didn't work. It wasn't as fun. Jamboree comes along, and I feel like it was the perfect evolution of what the games used to be, and them doing something different. And that's where I really, really, really wish they would figure out that balance with these games, where... Maybe it doesn't look exactly the same. Maybe there is different stuff in it. But it just feels like, wow, like this is the next evolution. Look at like Mario Odyssey. Like Mario Odyssey to me feels like I don't play that and go, oh, this is Mario 64. Like it feels like the evolution of like the 3D Mario. It doesn't feel exactly the same. It looks different. It has a new mechanic that's fun. That's all I'm looking for. I just feel like the new DKCs stray way too far from like what DKC is to me. There's no familiar enemies. There's like no animal buddies. I don't understand. Like, I don't know. We've had this conversation so many times, but like so I don't want to sound like a broken record. It's just, I just don't understand it. I feel like all the other games that come out, they like keep a lot of the stuff there. Like Zelda, no matter how different it is, there's still similar enemies, there's similar characters. Like, I'm not understanding why Donkey Kong needs to be my voice needs to be so different. And I still really think that it has to, like, I think if Rare never got like bought out, I don't think we'd have this problem. I think Nintendo just doesn't want Retro or any of them to be using stuff that Rare did. That's what it seems like to me. Which on a human level, I get it, but it's frustrating as a fan. Seeing that DK world, or that DK land at the theme park, and seeing how much of like what Donkey Kong Country is to me not being there, And you could argue, like, well, it's made for the newer fans. I don't know how many new fans there even are of, like, Returns, because it seems like that's all they even base the theme park off of. Because I try to be fair about the situation. Like, I try to be like, okay, like, yeah, like, obviously I have nostalgia. Like, I grew up with these games. But it really isn't just that. Like, I would be fine with them changing up the game. I didn't read that whole message, but the thing about, like, the Donkey Kong now is like if Mario had no Goombas and Koopas. That's exactly what I've been saying the whole time. I don't understand why... Because, like, that's the part about it, is it's like, sure, like, I know I have nostalgia for these old games. Like, nostalgia is always going to play a role. But it's the fact that, like, okay, but regardless of nostalgia, I mean, they changed the entire thing. They changed the whole thing. Like, there is nothing from the series at all except for the Kongs. That's it. Because even the animal buddies, you like, technically Squawks is there, but you really only have Rambi. Yeah, that's how I feel too. Like, I don't mind if they make new enemies. Like, I'm down to even, like, get into, like, a new Kong or something. That, like, that's the thing that sucks, is that the new ones don't... Like, the enemies... It's weird. I will say some of the enemies, like, you know, it'd be like, oh, they're just penguins. The first game literally had, like, a beaver and a bee. But it, like... It was mixed in with other things, and I just feel like none of the enemies stand out in the new DKCs. I think the Animal Buddy thing is huge. There not being any new Animal Buddies, in my opinion. Like, that's the thing. It's like, that's always been my argument, is like, I feel like people say, oh, you just don't want them to try anything new. It's like, no, like, please be my guest. Like, go ahead. But they don't. That's my thing. There's no new Kongs. There's no new Animal Buddies. Because there is some stuff that they did that I actually prefer. I like the fact that collecting the Kong letters matters. I like that you unlock a hard mode. But I do want to say, I mean, I don't think the game's like garbage or anything. I think Tropical Returns I don't like, and I'm very curious to see how my opinion is after playing the HD remake. Tropical Freeze I like as a video game. I just don't... When I play it, I'm not really, like, thinking about it being Donkey Kong, if that makes any sense at all.